Hi, everyone. Oh, ooh. Let me start the music. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Excellent. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the program. You have stumbled upon Minstack Pods. This is the Minstack podcast, and we have a phenomenal show here for you today. I'm actually so excited about this. I've been wanting to do this topic for a really, really long time, so I'm so excited that the day is finally here, and we have a lot in store for you today. I'm just going to keep on stalling until this music part ends so I can get to the introduction of the video. Okay, perfect. So we're just going to dive in face first. So when I went to Denver, I was visiting one of my good friends from college. That's totally besides the point and unrelated to what I'm trying to say right now. A few weeks ago, I was in Denver and I was with one of my good friends from college, and we were just talking about alpha males and what does that mean in today's day and age. I mean, we're both single. I'm like, I just want like an alpha guy. She was like, what even is that? And I'm like, well, I'm an alpha female, or so I think I'm an alpha female. But I was like, I really just need like an alpha male. She didn't know what it was. And so we took it to the streets. And it was honestly a question that I'd been wanting to ask in the streets. It just so happened that we were in Denver, which is actually coined Menver because of the amount of like men in the city or something. I was heavily disappointed by the quality of the male, but nevertheless, we asked this question, and this is exactly what happened.
Is an alpha man to you, and do you identify as an alpha man?
An alpha man is someone who protects their territory, protects their money, women, and their lifestyle. And yes, I would consider myself an alpha male. Thank you.
Okay, is an alpha man someone who's faithful to one woman?
No.
What?
No. He protects his territory, he protects his woman, but he doesn't protect her heart because he doesn't have to be faithful. A little contradictory for me. Don't like it, and we're moving on.
Are you an alpha man?
I mean, that's tough. I would say so, hopefully.
All right, but you're not like a beta male.
Nah, no way.
Are you sure?
What's the difference between an alpha and a beta?
Beta is very self-conscious, you know. I mean, alpha's like, just do what he's got to do, you know. If he assess people, it's whatever, you know. He's got to make the money. He's got to take it home to the family. The job's got to be done.
After doing these interviews, I ended up realizing that like men do not want to be considered betas. They don't like being called a beta is basically like a huge insult. And this guy, everything he listed about being an alpha male is just being like a responsible male. Like you're doing your job, you're providing, you're not like a trash human being. You're getting the job done. Isn't that just like the basic qualifications for any kind of person that's not a lazy sack? Does that really make you an alpha male? I don't know. It sounds like the bare minimum to me, but we continue.
Okay, he's going next.
I think an alpha male is somebody who supports his woman.
One woman?
Yes. What? Yes, absolutely one woman.
Monogamy.
Of course.
I do like the fact that this man was fully on board for being committed to one woman. Like he was disgusted that I even mentioned that they wouldn't be faithful to one woman. That is a good boyfriend, ladies. Wherever he is, he's somewhere in Denver. Go find him, ladies. Go lock him down.
What is an alpha male in today's society? What does that mean?
Like a stable career and like knows what he wants in life and hygiene and like all the good stuff that like you should want in a guy.
A stable career, knows what he wants in life, and hygiene. The bar, ladies and gentlemen, is in hell. For someone to have good hygiene should just be like a normal qualification of life. It shouldn't have to be some special exception for being some crazy alpha male.
You wouldn't date a beta.
No.
Okay, sorry. Sorry to all the betas.
Sorry, you suck.
I wouldn't date a beta either, so I'm with her.
An alpha male is a provider, a protector. Someone who doesn't take it, just kind of like holds it down for the family, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Are you monogamous to like one woman then if you're an alpha male?
I mean, how could you not be? Like, it doesn't make sense to be around with many people if like you want to protect one family.
Is an alpha male someone with like high moral standards, would you say?
I would think so, but like morals aren't tied to religion or anything involved. Like anybody can have moral standards. It just depends on the person.
So would you consider yourself an alpha male?
I like to think so. I like my mom would like to think I am, but like there are moments where I lack it, yeah, for sure. But overall, I'd like to think I am.
Okay, that guy, I'm not gonna lie, honestly, kind of had a little crush on him. He was really cute.
Couldn't get many answers from people downtown in Denver tonight, but I do not give up.
We probably got like 4 solid interviews in downtown Denver that night. And then everybody else, literally anybody else I approached, talked to, I mean, I really felt like I was throwing myself at people at a certain point. I've never had to work that hard for an interview answer. But they were like angry about it. Like they didn't want to talk about it. One guy told me that he didn't even want me to say alpha male again. He told me it made him feel uncomfortable, which means that he probably was a beta. I finished the interviews in Newport Beach, which is just like one of the best places ever in the entire world.
5'7" and up, has a beard, and just walks like he's strong.
So it's more about like a look than it is like a mindset.
Yes. You know, like you see him on the street, you see him walking and you kind of like just move to the side.
There's men that have a certain alpha male look. So like a taller guy who's maybe clean cut, in good shape, wearing like well-fitted clothing would give off the energy of an alpha male, someone who has their crap together. However, height, I really don't think has anything to do with it because Tom Cruise is like 5'2" and he has a lot of alpha male energy. You know what I mean?
Alpha men think they're entitled to women just because they have traits that are usually associated with masculinity, like strength or making a lot of money. And so I think oftentimes like alpha males are really tied to incels and they don't really respect women at all.
Let me tell you one thing. I love talking to feminists. Love it. I love it. It's like talking to myself in an alternate universe. By her tone, what she's saying, she's not a fan of the alpha male. I think her point was they give off an air of being sort of entitled to women and things because they have a lot of money or maybe they're strong. I don't see any downsides to having a lot of money and being strong. I'd rather have a strong man than a rich man because I'm pretty strong. So if someone could wrestle me and take me down, I know you're a serious contender.
Having your own beliefs and standing by them.
Does that pertain to like faith or like just value?
Morals, values, not really being swayed by what other people say, because a lot of times, especially these days, if you have more conservative values, people have a lot to say about that. Toxic or whatever they do want to say, but still standing by your beliefs if that's what you believe.
You know, being a man in today's day and age must really, really seriously be hard. Like, I don't really think about it that often, but if you're a dude and you are just a guy and you just live in being a man and you're just kind of like, you do your thing and you're like hairy and you just walk around. And the man things that I don't understand because I'm not a man. The feminists just, you're called toxic, mansplainer, misogynistic, woman hater, all this stuff just because you act like a man and you believe in the traditional male roles that are biblically instituted in all of us. It just must be very hard, but I appreciate this guy's answer. I love it. I think I agree 1,000%. An alpha male is somebody who knows what's right, who knows what he believes in and stands firm in that. Being masculine is important, and that's something that God calls men to be. He calls them to be leaders and the providers and protectors and all of that. Feminism, it's seriously ruining everything, and it really, really ticks me off because like I love men and I want them to be encouraged to be masculine, you know? I just love it. I feel like masculinity and chivalry go hand in hand. And now we have all of these women out here who are rotting, their eggs are dying, and they want to get married, but they don't want to marry all of these beta men that they've created in this feministic society. And it's like, dude, you ruined this, you know? Like you're ruining men. Like let them go out there and wrestle in the mud. Let them go climb trees. Let them go. What else do men like to shoot bottles of urine in the woods? Like let men go be men, you know? And I'll go bake the pies and feed them to all of the hungry, hairy men outside. Like that's what I want to do. Oh my gosh, it's just ridiculous.
In my opinion, I think an alpha male is someone that's really strong. You know, nowadays generation, we have very just soft people. I think someone that's very big on credibility and just very someone that's strong. And a big example is, Andrew Tate. A lot of people hate him, but I think he's right in many ways. How to be successful and just a man, a big true man nowadays, But yeah, alpha man.
In society today, yeah, we are missing that like true man attitude and way of life for men. Like it's just been stripped of them. And so now they have to look to people like Andrew Tate, who I'm not a fan of, but I'm also not a fan of. So here's my take on Andrew Tate, because I think a lot of people would look at him as an example of what the alpha male is today. So let's just use him as an example. I think Andrew Tate is incredibly successful because he is the face of the movement that resists this feministic garbage of what women are trying to tell men they need to be these days.
A large contingent of men out there who don't want to wear makeup, who don't want to be girls, who don't want to be told they're toxic because they want to go to the gym, who want to drive nice cars, who want to have money, who want to have hot chicks. And there's nothing wrong with us. We are not evil. We are not bad. We're not misogynistic. We're not out to hurt anybody. Let me tell you one more thing. When bad things happen, they call men like us. The feminists who hate us and call us toxic, the second they have trouble, they'll call a police officer. Do you think they want a feminist male to turn up or a man like me and you?
Where Andrew Tate tends to lose me the most, his opinion in regards to women and purity. I really appreciate the fact that he encourages women to remain pure, and he encourages women not to give themselves away to just any guy or be an easy woman, because he says, he's like, I don't look for that in a woman. I don't want a woman that's been with a lot of men. And I think that's important for women to hear. I feel like some women think that men don't care, but a guy who has a lot going for himself and a guy who could get almost any girl that he wants a girl that is pure, who hasn't been with a football team's worth of men. Where he misses the mark for me is that it's incredibly hypocritical on his end to demand that women remain pure, but men don't. Like, men can have multiple wives, men can have multiple girlfriends and multiple relationships and be intimate with hundreds of women, but women should be loyal and remain faithful to one man.
So the whole idea of a female wanting to sleep with more than one man at a time is haram. And they know it inside of their souls, inside of their hearts. I don't think so. Yes, they do, as does a man. No. Whereas a man, if he sleeps with a bunch of chicks, doesn't matter.
And I think that that's hypocritical, and I think that that's toxic, and I don't think that that creates healthy, good standing relationships. So I don't like that messaging that he puts out for young men, that you should just be a baller and, you know, treat your woman right, but you can have 20 of them. Like, that makes zero sense to me. And as someone who has remained pure, I'm looking for a guy who has that same mindset. I would find it incredibly insulting if I was with a guy and he was like, cool, you've never been with anybody. And I'm like, yeah, no, cool. And he's like, well, I've been with 70 chicks and I'm not going to cut it off with any of them, but you can join, you can hop on the train if you want. I'd be like, no, thank you. That's a sweet invite. It's a nice invite that you just offered me, but no. This coffee is cold. So I pulled a couple clips of Andrew Tate and I just want to react to them. We're going to grade Andrew Tate's feedback.
Breathe air. You don't need a vape. A vape's done charging. Load it up.
That's an A+. That's an A freaking plus. Vaping is the most unattractive thing you could be so cute. You could be like a 10 out of 10 for me, and you pull out a vape and it automatically goes to 0. I'm sorry. It's lame. I agree with it. The vaping situation needs to end. Amen.
Worm is a pointless creature. The only reason a worm exists is so that bigger, more important animals can eat something. They don't do anything. They can't see. They sit in the dirt and they just move around in the dirt and they try and hide a little bit, and then a bird eats them. And most people live their lives as worms. Most of you are worms. You don't do anything important. And if an eagle did come along, you couldn't even defend yourself. A worm has no claws. I've never heard of a story of valor that involves a worm.
I have to give that piece of advice A+, man. Now, in regards to the work that you do in this world, as a Christian, wow, I'm really trying to take this back to some sort of faith-based situation. I don't want to just live my life as a worm. I don't want to just be a worm in the soil. I want to do a work for the Lord. I want to be used by him. I want to be obedient to him and do what he's called me to do. And that requires that I walk with God and trust God. I mean, I guess it goes to the same thing. If you're trying to be an alpha male, you can't be a worm. Can't just be playing video games in your den all day. I've never been called a worm in my life. I have been called a female dog a few times, but those people that didn't really know me. They were just trying to be mean. All right, continue.
Most men are basically invisible. There is not a female on the planet who's invisible today. You can be a 4, overweight, fat,
you'll still go to the club and get attention.
I think Andrew Tate is funny. Is he right about everything? No. But I am mature enough to be able to watch a video of somebody and not completely hate them or want them to be destroyed because I don't agree with every single thing that comes out of their mouth. All right, now let's get to the meat of the issue here. The reason you guys are watching this video, how to become an alpha male. So after a lot of digging and after assessing this night after night, the drawing boards, what is an alpha male? Like I was making diagrams and how, okay, alpha, we've got that wolf pack. Okay, cool. Yeah, Andrew Tate, awesome. What is an alpha male? An alpha male, this is what I've come to, is a leader. As a Christian woman, what I would expect an alpha male, what that looks like to me, first and foremost, a man who has submitted his life to the authority of the Lord, someone who worships God with his life. And by all means, that does not mean he is a perfect person, someone who fears God. That is someone who I would willingly follow because that is a leader who is following the Lord. If you're just a leader out here and you're following your own moral compass in this world, that makes you a pretty weak leader. You're relying on your own understanding, your own knowledge, and that's pretty freaking weak because you're a human being. I would definitely respect and look up to an alpha male who submitted his life to God because he's relying on God's understanding, on God's knowledge, on God's wisdom, and that's way more freaking powerful than anything some mere human can come up with. All of this got me thinking, so now what is a beta? A beta is not necessarily a follower, but he sure as heck is not a leader. A beta is either one of two things. He's either a feminist simp, which means he just like follows the feminists around and like, yes, you're right. I'm a misogynist. I'm the worst. I'm toxic. Just so that he can pretend like he has some sort of a girlfriend and equal partner. Or he's the guy that is just completely lost, no direction, right? Playing games with girls, wastes his nights going to the bars and getting drunk whilst Snapchatting his little Snapchat streaks with like 15 women he doesn't plan on committing to any of them. Like that's a beta male. This is how you become an alpha male. I'm gonna give this to you guys free of charge. The first and foremost I would tell you is to become a godly man. Figure that out. I would get involved in a church. I'd figure out who you are in the Lord. It's important to you, what you truly believe. And I would live it out steadfastly, unwaveringly unto the Lord. Watch him lead and guide you. He's going to bless you. He loves you. Second thing I'm going to say is hit the gym. I love a strong man because I'm a pretty strong woman. I don't know if you can tell. I worked shoulders today. When I say hit the gym, I think that this does more for the male mind than it even does to their physique. It's a serotonin booster, gives you confidence, know how to lift weights, work in some cardio. I don't know. I'm not saying or alluding to the fact that you have to go and get a 6-pack or an 8-pack and be ready to be on the cover of like GQ magazine. Because personally, I kind of like a guy that's like, okay, not fat. I don't like a guy that's like fat. But I do like a bigger, like, I don't want some guy that's just like shredded. I want a guy that's strong, not necessarily fat, but just like big and strong. Not shredded though. The last thing I'm gonna say, pursue your passions. A guy who is passionate about something, anything, is a very powerful thing. You gotta be passionate. You gotta have a love for something that's driving you, a motivation. To be honest with you all, like I'm so glad I'm not a guy. You know, it's so much more fun to be a woman. We have our own things. We happen to go crazy once a month. I'm gonna have to give birth at some point. That's gonna hurt, you know? But I am glad to be a woman. I get to do my hair. I get to do my makeup. I have a body scrub that I got that just smells so nice. And I love it. If I wasn't a woman, I wouldn't have any of these things. Let's end this, shall we? Alrighty, everybody. Well, thanks so much for watching. I do appreciate it. This one goes out to all the men today. I hope all the boys in the whole entire world have the best, most incredible day. And I hope you guys feel valued and loved and seen. And remember, masculinity is not a bad thing. In fact, I would say it's a very much so sought after thing. So just continue being masculine, continue being strong men that you are, continue holding those doors open for all the ladies out there. And I pray that you get kissed this week. Maybe you'll get a kiss. I don't know. All right, goodbye. I'm not going to kiss you, but maybe someone else will.